MSF payload, Windows Meterpreter, reverse TCP. I'm going to have to set my local host, which would be my attacking machine. Appears I forgot the IP address. Good to always check it. Make sure. I can't tell you how many times I've put the wrong IP address in there. Set the local port. It's 444 by default on almost every exploit, so if you like that, you can just do that. But like some people said before me, that's monitored by a great many monitoring programs. Then we're going to pipe that into MSF encode. I know we've already gone over this a few times. Something nobody showed was the B option, which is to omit a certain byte. So I want to omit all the null bytes from my shell code. Then the T flag is for executable. And then the O flag is, of course, for the output file. And then E is the encoder. I'm going to use the, well, when I spell it right, I'm going to use the x86 Shikata encoder, which is supposed to be the best. If I ever had a wish for Metasploit, I wish they'd give these encoders easier names to remember.
All about the tab completion.
Like really good. Anyway, the C option is how many times you want to encode it. At this point, most AV has caught on to most of this stuff, so now we're into double and triple encoding, which you sometimes have to do. There's some EXEs I found that can't be encoded. I tried to encode Skype the other day, and they actually use a packer, just like crackers use with their systems, which I think is really odd. But anyway, so I was not able to inject an EXE into Skype, just in case anybody was wondering. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my reverse handler to accept the connection. Let's just use exploit multi-handler. The important thing about this is to set the payload as the exact same payload that you put in the executable. Show options, make sure I didn't forget anything. Of course I did. So of course the local host has to be the same. And then we're going to get that running. So that's just going to run. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another script, which I saved for this, excuse me, called schedule me, which is going to add my executable. It's going to upload it, and it's also going to add it to restart with the system. Uploading it, scheduling the command. There's a few cleanup commands you can run. I didn't do that. As you can see, I've already gotten a bunch of sessions from that. Now I'm going to reboot the machine and make sure that it connects back to me. Well, here you go. I said I wasn't a teacher or an instructor or any of those things. So it's already connected back to me. It actually connects back to me on 2 sessions. And so that's how you do that. And that will reboot with the machine every time. Once again, that does not clean itself up. Even clearing the event log will not fix that. All right. Here's the PS execute one we've been talking about all morning. I'm actually going to show it using the hash instead of the actual username and password. So here we go onto the good old system. So we're going to hash dump here. Like I said, generally people are lazy. The administrator hash will be the same all the way across the network. Dave actually just told me a really neat way before this presentation to check every every system on the subnet for a hash, which I haven't tried out yet, but I will as soon as I get home now. Or else I probably would have incorporated it into this. So I'm going to search. I'm going to use the SMB PS execute. Yeah, I'm sorry I used all the console. I didn't use the web app at all because it's on the way out, as far as I know. So we're going to show the options. There's just the normal options, except for we can set the password as the hash. So we're going to set our remote host.
And real quick thing with this too is if you exploit a system and you notice that the LM hash is the same, I think it's AAB343 is the initial start point. It means that the hash value is over 14 characters. So the LM hash isn't there, but it will still work without that. So if you don't have an LM hash and you have the anti-LM hash, it'll still work.
You put all zeros in there, right?
No, what Metasploit will do is Metasploit or whatever.
It will do it itself?
It'll do it itself, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So see how I set my SMB password, and I just use the complete LM hash and the colon and the NTLM hash. I'm going to set my payload as Meterpreter, of course, since that's what I'm talking about. Verse TCP. And make sure I got all my options correct. Got to set the local address. Yeah, I think that's going to work.
It's hard when not looking at
Don't make me break out any Sackmaniac jokes.
One little typo in my presentation. Right in the life.
More of a font selection issue.
Yeah, it's a font selection.
If anybody's wondering what we're talking about, they did a presentation at Shmoo, and he had our friend DigIP make this really cool presentation for him, and his website's called Sackmaniac, but it came out as Sackmaniac.
So needless to say, I've heard that the rest of my life.
Right. Anyway, so what happened here, as you can see, is we exploited the system. We got a shell. You can see how the hash went right in there. I just hit the shell command. That gives us log on to system 32 since we logged on as the administrator. We use the administrator hash for that. Next one I'm going to show, Adrian already showed this, so we'll go through it real fast. Clearing the event logs. There is one thing about clearing the event logs is it's not actually perfect. It does leave one significant thing behind, which is, I'll show on this, which is a 517 event. So if you get to work and your event logs are totally empty except for one 517 event, you can be pretty sure what happened. So now I'm going to go over here. I just went just a little bit farther. I just show you the actual log in Windows. See what happens to it. So as you can see, I got all kinds of stuff in here where I've been messing around all day. So now we'll go back over here and we'll run the command. It's right up here. It actually used to be a script, and now it's a command. My spelling was a failure that day. Maybe it always is. I won't lie. Anyway, so we'll go back over here, kind of refresh the page. As you can see, under security, I've left a 517 event, but everything else is cleared. So this is a perfect indication that you have been hacked by the Meterpreter. Yeah.
How hard would it be to write in Ruby your own little thing for just like selectively kill all records from this one account or something?
Sure. I mean, you would just have to look at that. You could actually look at the older clear environment script, and you could probably work off of that. It used to be a script, and then it was so, it was so well used that people incorporated it into the basic commands. But it probably wouldn't be that hard to maybe only clear critical errors or anything like that, as long as you know.
We'll get Carlos on that.
As long as you got the syntax correct, you know what I mean, or only clear a user or something